Since 1945, Weatherby's been building the finest firearms and ammunition in the world. And today, we're proud to continue that legacy from our facility in Sheridan, Wyoming. This is On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
Welcome back to On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast. I am your co-host today, Luke Torkelson, the COO here at Weatherby. I've got my trusty sidekick, Tyler Grayton, with me. And we've got a special guest, Nolan Martinez. Nolan, is this your first time on the podcast?
I think this is the first time, yeah.
Nice.
I know.
What do you do here? Tell us what you do. I know what you do, but for the people listening,
Yeah.
what you do, how long you've been here, because you're one of the few that is like one of the California OGs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So director of manufacturing here at Weatherby. Don't know how many of us are left as far as the OGs go, but the whole family and I made the adventure up here, and I think that was an adventure in itself, trekking through the weather, middle of February to get up here, but we all made it pretty safe. But yeah, I've been here for about just over 13 years now. Everything from shotgun department, working in rifle assembly, Cerakote. Missing something else in there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What was your first job? You're now director
I know.
of manufacturing, which sounds kind of crazy, but
know.
You've got to be near the record holder for the most amount of promotions.
Could be. I think Brad Dykehouse might beat me as far as how many positions he's had. He's been all over the place. But yeah, there's been a number of them. Yeah, like I started out in shotguns, I think March 1 of 2012, just verifying serial numbers, putting part box in the box, and yeah, worked in rifle assembly there for a couple of years. Was part of bringing Cerakote in house back in about 2015. Went back to assembly and leadership, and went from there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So you've seen a lot of Weatherby.
Yes, a lot of Weatherby
in that amount of time. Maybe a minute or less. How would you compare Weatherby today to the Weatherby when you started?
Yeah, huge transformation. Even 13 years ago, we didn't really do much manufacturing at all. A lot of fit and finish type operations, light assembly work with the Mark V, the Vanguard. In the past 6 years after relocating to Sheridan, we brought in all sorts of manufacturing, making our own barrels from pre-drilled rifle blanks, titanium actions, steel actions, bolt finishing with automation. Our Cerakote brought automation to that about 3 years ago, loading all of our ammunition, making stocks, carbon fiber stocks. That's pretty darn cool. I think that's probably one of my favorites out there.
Yeah.
So, it's been a huge flip from what it was, 13 years ago when I started.
yeah, I was going to say man, it's kind of crazy. We have a ton of great suppliers and still work with them, but there's been so much vertical integration since we've come to Wyoming.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of bringing those things in-house.
It's been a pretty active period of insourcing.
Yeah.
Since coming here. So I should already know the answer to this, but I don't know this one. Was Adam already back when you started, or was he still doing ministry work?
Nope, it was just Ed. Ed was driving the company at that time, and
I hadn't thought about that before.
I don't recall the date he actually came back. 2014?
15? Somewhere around 15,
Yes.
plus or minus.
Mm-hmm, correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And then shortly after, here's Brenda. She was back in the office.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's
So where in California, you grew up pretty close to where Weatherby was in California, or
Yeah.
how did that was just your hometown?
Yeah, Paso Robles. That's where I'm born and raised, third generation. So been there a long time. I think that was the toughest thing, moving the family away
that's
from
leaving
all
home.
that. But
Yeah.
it wasn't hard. It was just more hard, I think, I have kids, so the grandkids mean more than me now, so.
Sure. I know some California gets a bad rap, and sometimes we trash talk California a little bit, but the little bit of time that I spent in Paso as part of the transition to Wyoming, I took my family with me for a few weeks, and it was April or May, and my wife was like, why on earth are they leaving this place? It's incredible. It is not. It's pretty. Have you been to Paso?
No, I haven't.
It's a cool area.
Yeah.
Maybe in the summer it gets really hot and dry or whatever, but April was just amazing.
Yeah, I talked to my dad I think yesterday, and it's all turning brown. But early springtime, mid-spring is pretty. It's beautiful.
It's nice.
So,
You're an hour from the beach.
2 hours from the mountains, so
It's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rad.
So as much as we like you, Nolan, we're not here to talk about you today. We're here to talk about this new Vanguard Black Hills edition. Tell us about it, Tyler.
So Vanguard Black Hills is just the newest one in our lineup, and man, it seems like with Vanguard, it gives us the opportunity to really like bring a really good feature set for a affordable price, right? So Vanguard Black Hills, I feel like every time we talk about Vanguard, it's like this is the best value that we have. Well, this is kind of that next step up from the Vanguard Obsidian. It comes with a bunch of cool accessories from Peak 44. Comes with an AccuBrake not DST, just the AccuBrake ST. So it kind of comes loaded with features already.
Yeah, so it's got the brake, the ARCA-PIC accessory rail in the front, so it's ready to clamp into a tripod or run a bipod right off the Picatinny rail in the front, and then easily optics ready with that J-rail on top.
Yeah, and it's like those come installed already, so it's not like you're getting the rifle and then you're getting a box of stuff that you then have to do all yourself. It's ready to go right off the shelf.
Yeah, the PIC rail on top for the optics mount makes mounting a scope like the easiest possible.
Yeah, and then we talk about it all the time. It's the J-rail. It's got the rear 2 teeth removed, so you can run all kinds of different oculars, and especially with the Vanguard, it's got the 90-degree bolt throw instead of like a Mark V. It's pretty handy to have that. So,
Nolan, one of the things that we've focused on since moving to Wyoming, as like we just said, was some insourcing. Tell us a little bit about just how that's impacted Vanguard generally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just in terms of, want to make sure I answer your question correctly.
Just, I say we import vanilla, but we ship Rocky Road.
Gotcha.
It's kind of the cheesy marketing way, but like on a more manufacturing level, what does that mean for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, basically we procure a finished and fully assembled barreled action from HOA. Then we do all of our what we call make it beautiful or want to decorate it.
Right.
So we have some machining operations they will go through. Mainly for the Vanguard, that would be the fluting. Mm-hmm. So we will apply that if the model does call for that. Finishing operations for the Black Hills, it's a blue barreled action, but we do, like I mentioned, a lot of serial code operations on that. The stock painting, really neat. I don't even know how many different stock finishing codes we have nowadays.
It's getting up there. Like way up there.
I know,
it's close to triple digits.
You walk by that library and it's packed.
Yeah.
So, everything from different styles of sponge painting. We do some webbing, speckling capabilities, hydrographics, which I think the Vanguard line does carry. Just about every single one of those finishes.
Pretty much every paint job that we do, or paint job style, decoration style would probably be the better way to say it. This one's actually unique with the new Black Hills because we've not yet done a sponge paint on the Kryptonite stock, which is the rifle stock with the rubber inserts and the grip and the foregrip. And it turned out really good. Feels nice because that Kryptonite feels good.
Yeah, it's kind of got it's just got a good like kind of memory for your hand. It's a little bit different. It's like when it gets wet, it almost gets more tacky.
Yeah.
And so it's really good for a synthetic stock. Sometimes with a plastic stock, when it gets wet or something, it gets real slick. So with that rubber finish, it doesn't as much.
Yeah. It's looking really good. I like it a lot. I think you came by the conference room like a month or so ago because I hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, ooh, I do like that.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
I'm going to have to buy one personally. We get to buy a few rifles every year. And this one just looks great. We have Black Hills. Everyone thinks it's South Dakota, but we kind of do have a Black Hills region of Wyoming.
Yeah.
And when we did the photo shoot, we ran out there, and it's just this thing is like looks like that's a perfect name for it. As soon as someone told me, I was like, that's what it looks like.
That's exactly what it looks like. It fits in well. We have a couple makeups of this. So we have the standard like sporter contour barrel, a little bit thinner barrel, and then we also have the heavier barrel that's more like a number 3 contour. And then we have some various barrel lengths from a 26-inch barrel on the 6.5 300 down to a 20-inch, I think,
we're
on
at
the heavy
20.
barrel.
Yeah.
So everything in between. So it's pretty much chambered in everything that's available in Vanguard. So if you're...
Yeah, it's like 17 or something crazy like that. That's what Vanguard gives us, that flexibility that we offer pretty much everything on that. So...
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I do think this is probably one of the best value offerings that we have. That said, it is, what is today? May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. we're still like just under a month into all this tariff business. That's like still more questions than answers.
Yeah,
We really
absolutely.
don't fully know what is going to happen. Obviously, the Vanguard line, we import the barreled actions from Japan, as Nolan just said. We're still trying to navigate what those tariff waters are going to be. They started at 24% tariff on
Correct.
Japan, and they rolled them back on the pause to 10%, which is still more than we had before. So we're really hopeful that our government and their government hold hands and sing kumbaya a little bit, and we land maybe closer to a zero number again. As of right now, we have not implemented a price increase on Vanguards, except for one is just about to go into effect on the wood stock sporter because we're out of wood and we get wood from Italy, and new wood is coming in at a higher cost. And that's pretty much how we're handling the tariff situation, is through a replacement cost. So as we have to replace inventory with potentially higher priced goods, we're not trying to margin up or anything. We're just trying to keep whole. And that is likely to come at some point unless these tariffs fall off. But right now it's hard to know what's going on. So not trying to like incite a ton of urgency or panic, but there's a good chance, just like pretty much everything else from across the world, that the prices are going to go up a little bit later this year.
Yeah, and we were talking about importing the barreled action from Hoa. It's pretty crazy. We've had that partnership for over 50 years now. It's like you can't really say that a lot in business, that you're like, hey, you have a true partner
I think
for
this
that
is
long.
52 years.
Yeah, 1970. Yeah,
Yeah.
1970, I think, was the first year of the Vanguard. So that's almost 75 years.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm doing
No.
my math wrong.
Yeah.
55 years. Wow.
Yes, there you go.
There we go. I was just chewing that smart Nero gun that I was telling you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe Rogan. That's awesome. Well, yeah, this tariff situation has actually caused us to have a lot of different calls with all of our international suppliers, and we view all of them as partners. And for Hoa Japan, that one's a particularly long partnership, but there's hundreds of employees in Japan that are dedicated to making these rifles. They do an extremely good job. The Vanguards are that cold hammer forged barrel is darn good. It's super consistent. We virtually never get any back for any reason. They just always work. And the cost, it's just really good. What they've been able to do with 52, almost 75 years,
Almost 75 years, yeah.
of efficiency in the country that started efficiencies, essentially. They've got this thing down to a science. And one of the conversations we had with them was like, hey, we got to figure out how to keep doing business together once we figure out what's going to happen with these tariffs, because they have, like I said, hundreds of people dedicated to basically the Vanguard, and we want to keep them busy, and hopefully we will.
Yeah, and then on our side, we have a lot of employees finishing them too. So.
Yeah. I mean, the stock department is effectively our biggest department now, both laying up and also decorating, and we're using the decorating side on this one. So it's just a lot. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot in flux, but in the midst of all that, we're like, you know what? We're kind of missing in the lineup this kind of less expensive painted stock with some accessories, and from that came the Black Hills.
Nice.
Pretty excited about it. Tyler, you been running?
I have been running, yeah. Yeah, we did that podcast a while ago, and now it's like you got to put your money where your mouth is after we talked about running it. So, yeah, been running a ton.
Did you know that we're both going to do the 52?
I kind of got the hunch, from some of the posts I've seen recently. See, I don't do the long distance stuff. Like a sprint, I can walk a long ways with a lot of weight, but the long distance running, that's not my style.
It could come, though. You got to be careful, Nolan. Are you still doing Carnivore?
Still doing Carnivore.
How are you doing?
Good. 24 pounds down.
Nice.
Looking sharp,
doing
too.
it. Hey, thanks, Luke.
So is that 3, 4? How long?
I just got asked this a little bit ago by Leslie. I think we're pushing 3 months now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that you started it, and then one day you walked by, I'm like, Nolan, you look good.
Heck, there's a
Yeah,
bunch of us doing it. Corey's doing it too, and he looks great too.
Yeah.
Yeah. a bunch of people.
No, he's doing great. Leslie just started it. I was talking to her. She stopped by the office asking about it.
Nice.
John Nielsen, our planner,
Yeah.
he started it.
Yeah. It's contagious.
So it is.
Yeah,
it really is.
Except for Dawson, who's in the marketing department. He ate 15 Krispy Kreme donuts this morning because of an off the cuff bet, I guess, last week. So yeah, he
15 donuts?
he ate 15.
What are you talking about?
He ate 15 Krispy Kreme donuts.
Did he have to go home?
No, I asked him if he has diabetes yet, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on stage 1." But I guess I don't know. Last week he said I could eat 36, and we're like, "No, stop." But DJ brought in donuts this morning, and Dawson ate 15 of them.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That would wreck me right
Like
now.
donut holes or full size?
No,
donuts?
full size Krispy Kremes. Yeah, it's just funny. I was thinking when I was running, I was like, Dawson just ate 15 donuts.
How many calories is that?
They're about 200 calories a piece.
3,000 calories. And it just all turns to sugar.
It's they're just the glazed ones, so they're all sugar. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I want to be 20 again.
I know. That's what I was like in my head. I was like, yeah, I could never do that. I'd be like dead for 3 days.
Man. Okay, real quick on the update on the running situation. So we're both signed up for the Bighorn 52. We're 6 weeks out, roughly.
6 weeks out.
You feel good about it?
I had my best workout of so far my training block today.
Today.
Yeah.
And we did a half marathon Saturday morning with some friends. That was fun.
Yep, we did a half marathon with like 3,500 feet elevation gain, and then this morning at lunch today, our little lunch running spot that's got like 850
Yeah, it's
elevation.
almost 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that a 5 miler in 9-minute pace, so I felt really good about that, and I was on tired legs because my legs were sore, so I was like just pushing it. So it's good.
So when we first recorded the podcast about jumping in and doing it, literally that was like a Friday. The Monday after, I tweaked my knee doing some sprints, and I like tried to just figure out what was going on for 2 weeks, and I realized I'm not getting better. This is not good. So I went to the orthopedist. They're like, yeah, something's weird. It's hard to say. It doesn't feel like anything seriously is wrong, though, but to know for sure, we're going to have to do an MRI. So I did the MRI a couple weeks later, and I have a cyst between my tibia and fibula, a 7-millimeter cyst that's just kind of hanging out in a bad spot. And they're like, yeah, there's really no good way to get to that thing. I'm like, can I make it worse? And also, can I make it worse by running on it? And could I make it better by not running on it? And the answer to both was no. And I was like, then I'm game is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, as soon as you told me, I remember that because I feel like I had just clicked enter to the 52.
You did.
And then I went to you're like, I'm going to the doctor. My knee is done.
Yeah.
So
I lost about 2.5 weeks. I did almost nothing for 2.5 weeks right after we recorded that podcast, but I've stepped it. I was in a pretty good spot coming into that, and then I've stepped it up here since then, and so it's probably been 2 or 3 weeks of getting back into it pretty hard. It's time to really
buckle down
and turn it up to 11 for
Yeah.
sure.
I've done a couple of good weeks of 30-mile running weeks, and then last week I did 30 plus 10 walking.
Yeah.
This week I'm going to
trying to get
35 to 40.
I'm trying to get them on the mountain bike some to do just some extra endurance work while giving the running muscles a break. But it's the time, man. It's hard. It's hard to get enough time to get the miles.
Yeah. My goal is to try to maybe do that 4 to 5 at lunch.
Yeah.
And then clip 1 or 2 big ones on the weekends.
I've still been trying to run to or from work once a week. There's a 7 or 8 right there, and yeah, it's hard to get.
I'm going to do it one day where I run home. It would be 18 miles to run home for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to do it before. That might be
you should.
the peak week kind of thing. So.
Sorry, buddy, you're on your own.
Come on, Nolan, you could go with them. You're not that far.
Yeah, it's just funny when you like start talking about distances like that. If I would have told my 25-year-old self that I'd be running like this, I'd laugh because there's no way.
I feel a little bit like that if I were to have told my 5 years ago self that I'd be doing some of this, but no, I've been generally feeling good. I'm still like almost every step I feel the knee, like it's painful, but it's not, it's gotten more dull, I guess. Like when it first happened, it was so sharp. I don't know if it's because it's fresh and it's just on your mind, but you're like, oh gosh, something's really wrong. Now it's just like, it's there. I think I can do it. And if you go up enough and your quads are burning enough and your calves are burning enough, you don't even really feel your knee.
I was going to say, then something else starts hurting more. Yeah. Yeah, I guess Nolan and I, we live in Ranchester, Dayton area, and it's just like, that just happens to be one of the best trail runs in North America. So it's like,
it's darn good.
It's like, man, if I was ever going to get into running, it would be that there would be no excuse for it. So with that being so close.
I was looking at the list of some of the past finishers of the Bighorn, and there's some like big names, and not necessarily big names in the grand scheme of the world, like Trump didn't do the race or anything.
Yeah. I was actually looking at the homepage, and the main picture is like, that's a weird like picture of a guy. I'm like, I wonder. And then it ended up being like, I guess his name's Jeff Browning, and he's just like one of the best runners of all time.
Scott Jurek has like one of the best trail runners ever. Cam Haines has done it. And like, there's a lot of big names that have done it. It's an awesome race. So 6 weeks out, what would you say? Like, what's your biggest 2 or 3 concerns on finishing 52?
So I've kind of 2. First one is I'm heavy. I'm a heavy guy. So
you're a muscular guy.
Muscular. So I still am trying to lose as much weight before just the pounding. So I'm like right around 205 now, which is great.
From what?
235 is my biggest.
Wow. That's 30 pounds.
Yeah. So I'm at 205 right now.
But you don't look like.
No, I mean, I haven't been under 190 since 8th grade. I mean, I was a running back in college, and I was 190 as a sophomore. So, so I'm just trying to, that's number one. It's just because when you think of 52 miles, that's just that much more pounding. I think it's at the end of the day, your leg muscles, right? So it's just like if I could trim up a little bit, that'd be great. And then number 2 is just my hydration. My weak point is my calves are big and they cramp. So it's just like making sure this year having hydration better, because last year I did the 32, and you can do just about anything. I mean, I ran with cramps for 18 miles. That like every other step, it felt like I was going to fall.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it was terribly awesome, but it just kind of showed me you can do really hard things. So if I can actually do my hydration better this year, that's going to be the biggest thing for me. What about you?
I'm still like the knee thing. It's not like gives me a little concern, I guess, but it's not a deal killer. And I think for me, more than hydration is fuel. Since we've been on the carnivore keto diet, doing a whatever it's going to end up being 12 hours plus or minus 2. That's a really big pull, and that's more basically glycogen use than what your body can sustain itself. So going to have to supplement with carbohydrates and sugars. And so I've been starting to experiment with that while running. Did a honey stinger and some gels this weekend, and was ultimately okay, but definitely had some my stomach felt a little funny. It was all right. I would do it again. I think I put all the stuff that I tried on the probably approved list, and I'm going to move on to some other things. But I definitely need to get that part dialed to the nutrition.
Yeah. I guess to piggyback on that, I was planning on June 1st. The race is June 20th to start doing apples.
Oh, yeah.
And just fruit.
Get some fruit in. Yeah.
And then I was going to do I've got some gels to test the next 6 weeks to see which ones work the best. Some of those are kind of fruit-based, so I'm hoping that maybe if I just start doing like blackberries and more of those kinds of things.
Berries are good.
Especially at like aid stations, they're like, I know for a fact like the aid stations are great on the Bighorn, and they're going to have apples. They're going to have watermelon. They're going to have some of those things. So I'm like,
a lot of watermelon.
Maybe I'll train my body for those things. And then I'll probably do honey stingers as well.
Yeah. They're nutrient dense, and they're relatively easy to eat while on the move. Mm-hmm. That's some of the hard part. Like, I tried to eat a meat stick the other day while running. It's just almost not possible.
Yeah.
You're just chewing it forever. It's like meat flavored gum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just can't
swallow. And then
just
like the extra saliva that you're like when you're chewing, when you're running, it's just like it's just gotta be easy to go down.
It's hard. The other thing I was looking at last night, like a mile by mile, like pace strategy, and the hardest part I think of the 52 is going to be miles 19 through 23. Yeah, it's coming out of the first aid station when it's generally downhill for 18 miles, and then there's like 4 miles of pretty aggressive climb. And I think that'll be the hardest part.
Yeah,
I'll feel good once getting to the top of that climb.
Yeah,
and then
we were talking strategy yesterday. It's like, ooh, our drop bags are gonna have trekking poles in them for that section. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like I go back and I like analyze other people's like race data, and I'm like, okay, well, if I do this segment at that, and then it's all gonna change.
It will. It will. It's good to have a plan going in, just like Nolan tries to have a plan every month on what we're going to do in production, and then something breaks or somebody gets sick, and then the plan goes out the window.
Absolutely. It's the life of it.
Reacted well, though. Nolan, what do you see next out there? And we're way off the reservation now, but I'm trying to reel it back in. What do you see us doing next with that we can talk about?
That's a great question. So we did hire a industrial engineer here recently. We focused a lot on process improvement, tried to. So we added him to try to get a little more horsepower on that front. So working on some cool things. Don't really quite talk about them yet. A little too early, but we're trying to look at some new production transformations. So we're still in pretty early stages of that. Just starting to look into it starting, I think Wednesday this week and Thursday. So we'll start to kick that off. But that's kind of the big focus right now for us.
Yeah, because you did like a Kaizen black belt thing, right? Yeah. Efficiency stuff.
Nolan, you're not an official black belt yet, right? But you've got your black belt training, LS, Lean Six Sigma.
Correct. Yeah, in the making. I think it has to be like $2 million savings. We gotta provide. So we're not quite there yet. Thinking to get the updated, by the way, and get that back to you.
Yeah, we need to have a look at that. It's all
See
good.
Where we're at.
It's all good. We've got a lot going on. It's been a lot of fun. I was listening to a podcast while running the other day, and I think one of the things that give us an edge is also maybe a disadvantage, but the podcast was talking about like not everybody can just be like the smartest people or the absolute most efficient across the board. But one thing that you can control, and I think one thing we do control, is you can be fast. We're pretty quick to pivot if we notice something, like when this Black Hills model came out. We're like, we have a gap in the line that we've identified, and like within a few days we had it solved. Yes. And it takes a while to get it launched and all that, but from a consumer perspective, which this is now part of, but we are able to pivot really quick, and I think that's like a lot of that's Adam. He makes us do that, which is good. But it's kind of just in our DNA, and so we can do something and measure the results. And if we need to pivot, if it wasn't as successful as we thought, or if it was more successful than we thought, then we're able to pivot really quick before most of our competitors have even done anything. Yeah. We're able to like move on to the next model or kill one and add this, or I think I was thinking through like why is that? And I think about all of the Weatherby cartridges. We've got the 16, 17 Weatherby cartridges that we chamber for that almost nobody else does. And that makes us like really inefficient just to support our own stuff. But because of that inefficiency, like we've gotten efficient in that. Does that make any sense?
No, it makes sense. It makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And it's like kind of the like what makes us awesome too, because it's like some people aren't willing to do things like that. Like not very many people chamber 280 Ackley improved in their rifles, and we do in a ton of stuff. I think that's kind of fun. One of my favorite marketing stories of all time is it was a couple falls ago. I went to Alaska on a moose hunt, and when I came back, we magically had 5 new products. And it's like we actually had a week long of launches. They're like, hey, Tyler, we did some things.
You left and we got real busy.
Yeah. And I think I got back like the last week of September, and we launched them all October like 7th. It was like a week long of 5 new products, and it was awesome.
If it's worth
And
doing
we did it in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It was cool.
Why drag it out?
I think even stock manufacturing. When Adam said no, we didn't make carbon fiber stocks for ourselves, and we knew nothing about it.
No, we
And
didn't.
I think we did pretty darn well in that year and a half of bringing that process in house. It was pretty darn cool.
Yeah, it's been really fun. That's part of, I know you can't even answer the question, so it's unfair to ask you, but some of the new stuff that we're working on, it's going to be really fun to see where we land.
Yep.
But there's a lot of cool stuff in the hopper.
There is.
I feel like for the last how long we've been running this podcast, like 6 years now, we keep saying we're not done.
Yeah.
And we're definitely still not done. Like we've got this one, the Black Hills. I think we're going to do another one soon on another rifle.
Yeah. And then it's like, what does Tim, our engineering team lead, or always say? He's like, I can build you a rocket ship. I just need the specs.
Just give me the specs.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Nolan, okay. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your like go-to carnivore meal?
Let's see. I think you never could pass up a ribeye for one. But
yeah,
I
that's
think,
like a staple.
Yeah, that's the perfect meal. Yeah.
That carnivore pizza I told you about a couple of weeks ago. I think I'm not sure if you tried that one yet.
I have not done it.
But that crust, it's like a pound of ground chicken, a few eggs, like Italian seasoning, and I think there's a good amount of butter that goes in there. You mix it up and lay it out flat
make
like
a crust,
like a pizza dough, and rectangle, round, whatever you want. Then add your toppings. I think we did like thinly sliced steak, bacon, Italian sausage. I can't remember what else. It was pretty heavy duty though, but it was delicious. I think that's probably our go-to at the moment.
Nice.
Yep. Yourself?
Man, I've gone like through cycles of times where you get a little bit bored, and then I started playing with sauces, and then like currently I'm kind of in a like I don't care. I just need to eat, and so just thawing out some red meat, whatever that is, and cooking it. I don't even use seasoning anymore. I just cook it, and then I put some salt on it when I'm done, and then I eat it, and that's it.
Yeah, we do a lot of salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. That's it.
Yeah.
We have a huge cabinet of just amazing seasonings, but they're all sugar, that first or second ingredient. So
Yeah, you got to
It's
be
so
careful.
hard
on the
we've got some great partners that have seasonings and whatnot, and you look at the list of ingredients, I'm like, dang, that one's so good, but I'm not going to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just been doing a lot of salt. Yeah. My go-to, if I like have time, is probably a steak and then heavy whipping cream in a saucepan, some balsamic vinegar, and some blue cheese, and kind of like melt that, reduce it down a little bit, and just make that like fatty sauce. Oh, and butter, like a lot of butter in that sauce, and it's just super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good butter helps a lot. The Caribou butter, be using that a lot. And a good salt, I think, is important as far as trying to make, every meal taste good.
Yeah.
Like the Maldon salt, we use that a lot, and it's good, crunchy.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Tyler?
Right now I do the staples of just, lots of eggs, lots of ground meat and all that stuff. But if I'm going to get fancy, my kind of go-to right now is I'll dice up some bacon, cook that down nice and good. And then I'll have we went to Alaska, so we have some fish available.
Got some thawing out tonight.
So
rockfish for dinner.
I've been doing some halibut. I'll like pre-cook and bake some halibut. So as that bacon's cooking down, then I'll add some heavy whipping cream, and I'll add just a bunch of different seasonings to it. No sugar, of course. Bunch of different seasonings, and then I'll add that halibut back in, and then that heavy whipping cream starts to thicken up, and I make like a chowder. It tastes just like a clam chowder would taste like. So that's been kind of my go-to. It's just really savory, and it's just a little bit different than just red meat. So
Sounds good.
I'll swing by.
Yeah, we should do it. I did it last Friday. I literally just did it this last Friday. It was great.
So do you make like a big batch and then freeze some, or do you
I usually make enough for 2 servings. Like Savannah's not really into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I usually do honestly I eat it pretty fast. So I'll when I make pre-make meals, then I'll make something, and then I'll just that will be what I eat for the next 3 days.
Nice.
So, but that one's a little rich with the heavy whipping cream.
Yeah,
so
is Lauren still doing it?
She's still doing it.
How's it going for her?
Going really good. I can't remember what she's down, but she's I think over 20 pounds as well.
Feeling good?
Yep, she feels really good, really good. She has celiac and some other little things that
it's
bother her
probably
body.
Great for that.
It's great. I think the first couple of weeks was rough, just her body trying to adjust to it. But overall,
I think the first couple of weeks are hard, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what diet.
Yeah,
but
yeah, when you start to make the shifts, but the discipline I think that comes with it with time is nice.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Luke about a month. I think it was about a month into it, and we took the kids a date to go have some ice cream. And I told Lauren, I said, I think I've earned myself an ice cream after the past 30 days of this. And so we go down there. I'm happy as a clam. Go to order a vanilla milkshake, and they made banana, and
just couldn't do it.
Took 2 sips, and I thought, you know what, that's a sign. And I threw it away. I threw it away. Never said anything. Just
did you go to the Merc?
Yep, went to the Merc.
Have you tried to make carnivore ice cream? You can make it with heavy whipping cream.
Corey was telling me about it, and I haven't. I joke with my kids; they'll have some ice cream at night, and I just will have cottage cheese with salt and pepper.
Okay, that's
Same
a little
here.
sad.
That's good.
I love it.
It helps craving.
We have a Ninja Creamy, which is like an ice cream maker, and I've done a little bit of heavy whipping cream and some non-fat, no sugar in it Greek yogurt. Done that with a little bit of protein powder.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had strawberry ice cream. It was pretty good.
That's nice.
Yeah. But I haven't done that in a couple weeks.
Man,
give it a shot.
We're just going to call this podcast like the Black Hills and everywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. Where can they find out more information about this thing, Tyler?
They can get on weatherby.com and follow us on socials. But our best kept secret is our newsletter. That is the best thing that we have. So you can sign up on that on the website.
Yeah, even though I think social media is supposed to be relaxing some of their restrictions, we can see through the metrics. We definitely still get restricted. So there's no guarantee you're going to see our posts, but we're pretty sure you're going to get our email.
Yeah, on email, and we do some cool things on there. We'll do giveaways through it, and we'll do some stuff that we can't even do on social. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Nolan, you got any parting thoughts?
No, I think I'm good. Looking forward to this one. Like I said, the first time I saw it, got pretty excited about it, so I might have to go in for myself.
Same. I think this is a great value. I think it's gonna reset the overall Vanguard line quite a bit.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty awesome. So get on weatherby.com, check it out, and thanks for listening.